I used to believe my life would never change. I was a simple woman living a quiet life with a small apartment, a regular job, and big dreams that seemed very far away. I admired confident and educated people, especially men who spoke English well, traveled often, and moved naturally in sophisticated environments. I knew I was intelligent and capable, but there was one barrier between me and that world. I did not speak English. Every time I saw successful and wealthy people talking comfortably, I felt invisible. Not because I lacked value, but because I lacked communication. That was when I understood something important. English was not just a language. English was access. Access to conversations, confidence, opportunities, relationships, and a different lifestyle. One day, I met a man who represented that world. He was calm, well-dressed, polite, and confident. He spoke English naturally and talked about business, travel, culture, and ideas. I felt attracted to him, but more than that, I admired the life he lived. That night, I made a decision that would change everything. I decided to learn English, not to impress anyone, not to pretend to be someone else, but to become the best version of myself. I started with simple and basic English phrases used in everyday conversations. I learned how to say, "Nice to meet you," as a polite and confident introduction. I practiced asking, "How are you today?" to show interest and good manners. I learned to ask, "Where are you from?" to start conversations naturally, and "What do you do?" to talk about work and lifestyle. Whenever I felt insecure, I reminded myself to say, "I'm learning English," a simple sentence that shows effort, ambition, and growth. I practiced these phrases every day. I repeated them in front of the mirror, on the bus, and before going to sleep. Slowly, my confidence began to grow. As my English improved, I started using more elegant and sophisticated expressions. I learned to say, "I enjoy intelligent conversations," to express depth and curiosity. I said, "I admire successful people," to show my values. I learned how to give a respectful compliment by saying, "You have a very elegant lifestyle." I expressed openness by saying, "I love learning new cultures," and sincerity with the simple phrase, "You inspire me." Through this process, I realized that English was not about sounding perfect. It was about expressing who I truly was. When I met him again, I was more prepared. I could ask intelligent questions such as, "What kind of business do you work in?" and show curiosity by asking, "Do you travel often?" I learned how to continue conversations naturally with, "What do you enjoy doing in your free time?" At the same time, I could clearly express my values by saying, "I value personal growth, and education is very important to me." Learning English also transformed my confidence and self-esteem. I began to speak differently to others and to myself. I started saying, "I believe in myself, and I'm improving every day." I allowed myself to believe, "I deserve a better life." One sentence described my transformation perfectly. Learning English changed my mindset. It truly did. English changed not only the way I spoke, but also the way I stood, the way I thought, and the way I respected myself. As my feelings grew, I learned how to express romance with clarity and elegance. I could say, I'm looking for a serious relationship without fear. I could express my preferences by saying, I like honest and confident men, when I wanted to be direct but polite. I said, I'm interested in getting to know you better. And most importantly, I made my standards clear by saying, I appreciate kindness and respect. These sentences were not about money, they were about values. One day I understood the truth. I was not learning English only to marry a millionaire. I was learning English so I would never feel small again, never feel invisible again, and never depend on someone else to speak for me. The man noticed my transformation, but what mattered most was that I noticed it in myself. I became confident, articulate, and independent. Now it is your turn. Practice these sentences every day. Say, nice to meet you. Say, I'm learning English. Say, I value personal growth. Say, education is very important to me. Say, I deserve a better life. Confidence comes from repetition, and fluency comes from consistency. Learning English is not about chasing someone. It is about becoming someone. English is power. English is confidence. English is freedom. If you want to learn English step by step, speak with confidence, and elevate your lifestyle and relationships, continue learning every day. Learn English for yourself, and your life will follow.